Nigel Short playing white against Robert Byrne of the United States playing black. And these two players have rather more in common than just the fact they both played chess. They both are extremely fond of Bach. Robert Byrne likes it straight, perfectly on a harpsichord. Nigel Short likes it dressed up by Deep Purple. So, a cool classical style or a heavy rock style for this group game. The position in the group is as follows. Gligerich has got back into contention by his victory over Hort. So if Short can even get a draw today, he'll be the clear leader. On the other hand, if Byrne can win, then in that case he goes top. With me, as usual, to give his expert advice and commentary, Bill Hartston. Bill, we saw a tremendous win by Nigel Short in the first round. This is the only game in this group he's going to be playing white. What are his chances against Robert Byrne?
I think he'll be very encouraged by the win in the first round, but equally the pressure's off Byrne. Now that Short has won a game, Byrne is really going to take him seriously, and it doesn't look quite so bad if he loses too.
Right, well, the game's already begun. Let's join it, and you can bring me up to date if you would on what's actually happened in the position they're in with Short playing white.
Well, they've played 27 moves already, and Short has grabbed an advantage in space.
Bill, Robert Byrne has just moved his knight back from g6 to e7. Is that an attempt to cram space, or is he surrendering more space?
You have to see what's been happening so far in the game, really. It's a typical Sicilian defence type of position, with white taking over space in the centre by these pawn advances, and black's adopting this hedgehog type of formation with pawns on the third rank rather than white's on the fourth. Now, black has eventually to break out of this position, either by advancing his d-pawn to d5, and that's where the knight move comes in. It's another piece on the d5 square. Now, nearly all white's pieces are defending the d5 square, or black can break with b5 later, and he has to be thinking about one of those advances. Now, Nigel's last move of f4 is the beginning of some signs of aggression. Up to here, he's been defending his extra space. Now he's trying to get even more, and he's thinking of advancing his pawns on the king side for an attack. Byrne's treating this whole game very cautiously.
Let's join the game with Nigel Short, white, to play, and see what he thinks of Robert Byrne's last move, his knight back to e7.
Yes, that's a good move. Now I can't go e5 because of knight f5. Well, what should I do? Should I prevent knight f5 at some point, or prepare f5 myself? As I quite like this idea, just playing g4. Maybe it's a bit risky. I mean, I'm exposing my own king here, but then again, he's no way of getting at it immediately. I like to play g4, the idea of just f5, knight f4, put pressure on his king side. Yes, just g4 here.
At 15, I would probably play g4 too, but I rather like it for black because it slightly exposes the white king, and I really think my own king is quite secure. But there isn't any real chance of an effective breakthrough here. But what should I do now? I'd love to have my bishop on the a8, h1 diagonal. If I play bishop c6, however, there's knight d4 with a small tempo gain, bishop a8. And how would I follow that up? Perhaps just with knight c6 and remove a knight. I like my position, but I don't find a way to really increase its mobility or attacking chances, especially since he's still stopping me from playing b5. On the other hand, knight c6, what can I do with it? Well, knight b4, that's one of those aesthetic moves that is like a parade ground, a lot of marching around, and what does it do? But there's another possibility. Strange possibility of attacking that b pawn and keeping a white piece attacked if I play knight a5. Well, I'm running rather short of time now, but I'm going to try knight c6.
Well, that's okay. He's moving another piece away from the king side. And what's he going to do with that knight? Well, knight b4, wow, nothing at all. I'm just going to continue, bring all my pieces over to the king side. I'm going to start with queen g3, and that'll prepare an attack along the g file, maybe g5 at some stage, or even f5, and then I'll be threatening the d pawn. Yes, queen g3.
That figured. He wants to kill me on the king side. Naturally, he's going to move that knight on the second rank out of the way, slip a rook over, and make some break here. But let's see now about knight a5. Knight a5. Besides, there's a little trap with knight a5. If he defends that pawn by either knight d4 or knight c1, I have a little combination here. Knight takes b3. Knight takes b3 in reply. Queen takes c4 check. Knight e2. Bishop takes a4, pinning the knight, attacking it twice. And on rook b1, I take the e-pawn. I've picked up no less than 4 pawns for the piece. Beautiful position. Well, all right, he's not going to fall for that, but even if he doesn't, he'll have to make some move like rook b2 or rook b1 and take one of those attacking pieces out of action. All right, knight a5.
Ah, didn't expect that. Yes, well, how am I going to defend this thing? Maybe just knight c1 here. But, oh no, he can play knight takes b3. That looks really strong. My whole position seems to collapse then. Well, I think I'm just going to have to defend this pawn with my rook. I want to play... Well, if I go rook b2, and maybe even queen a3 is annoying. I think I'll just play rook b1 and threaten b4. Yes, I don't really like this. I like my rooks on the d file, but it's annoying to take them away to defend my queen side. Still, I'm going to have to play it. Rook b1.
Well, right. I've gotten one rook off the d line. Of course, here I've just given him the threat of b4, so I have to do something with the queen. Well, there's only one aggressive-looking move, and that's queen b4. It has the advantage of pinning the knight to his rook on d2, and it does give me, once I've got that set up with queen b4, it does finally give me the chance to break with b5. Right, I'll try queen b4.
Yes, his threats on the queen side are looking quite dangerous now. b5 is a strong threat. Yes, I'm really going to have to hurry up my attack on the king side and just play g5. And if he plays h takes g, queen takes g5, and then plays b5, well, I can continue with e5, and his d pawn's pinned, and I can follow that up with knight e4 and knight f6 check. I probably get at least a draw. Well, it gives me some chances. I'll just go g5.
Yes, I knew that was coming. Such ambition. Well, I've got to do something about that king side. But first, of course, I have to begin with hg no matter what. hg.